Hey everyone, I wanted to give a follow-up to my last video, and boy, when the call is made, you guys come through. I've had like 8 women, uh, email me, and I haven't gotten to read them yet. We are actually having a huge snowstorm here. Huge, like huge. I don't even think we'll have school tomorrow. And but yeah, so I haven't been able to read the emails yet, but I can read, when they come through. And there have been like 7 or 8 of you who have written already and said, I'll talk to Joy. I'll talk to your mom. I've lost my mom, or I was a caregiver, and I get it. And a lot of them who've like, I was a sole caregiver, even with my family. And I want to start off too is I am never, ever, ever asking for money from anybody. I just want people to know that when I share, I'm fine. And I told you, I'm very frugal. I was a single mom my whole life since Jesse was 1. And I've always worked multiple jobs to take care of everything. And, and that's, I'm working now, and I'm planning on starting my own business to work after school, to do typing, legal typing and stuff. And so money is never what I'm looking for. Like, and I, I, so when I was driving home, to me, it's all about community. And what I'm realizing as I get older, because I always feel guilty when I'm trying to release that, like with Shelby asking me to go on this cruise. In the past, I would have said no right away, because never could I accept a gift like something like that. But what I realized, and I've talked about this before when I was in the van, and it's funny because a lot of people, if you didn't follow me on Adventures Over 50, there were some nights that I would just feel like talking because I was alone a lot. And it was dark, and I'd go in the back of the van and I would just talk, and it was called the black screen. So you didn't see me, I just talked. And it's so interesting, even on my new channel, I have multiple people saying, oh, I miss the black screens. I would just lay in bed and listen to you talk. And it was just me. I said, I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school, and we had what do you call it? Confession. Yes, where you'd have to go in the black box, and, they'd open it and you'd say, forgive me, Father, for I've sinned. My last confession was, and that's how it felt. Like I would just be alone talking about my own thoughts and just being vulnerable. And tonight, as I was driving home, there was a lady who had gone off the road, and her car was like kind of in the ditch, and other people were driving by, and I stopped and I ran over. And first of all, I'm like, are you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. I said, she goes, my boyfriend's coming. And I said, okay, well, I just want to make sure you had a cell phone and that you were okay, you weren't hurt. And she goes, no, I'm fine. I'm just waiting for my boyfriend. I go, okay. So ran across to my car, and a car pulled up behind her, and a guy gets out, and I rolled down my window and I go, oh, are you her boyfriend? And he goes, no. So he was just stopping to check on her. And I said, oh, she said she's okay, and her boyfriend's coming. And he's like, okay. I go, well, do you think we can push her out? And he goes, no, I don't think we can push her out, because the snow was already probably like 3-4 inches high. And it snowed this morning too. So, so I'm like, okay. So, he got in his car, and, it's just like that thing, like community, where you're there to help each other, because if you were in that situation, you'd want somebody to help you. And for me reaching out, it wasn't about me. Like, I'm fine. I'm totally fine. I can handle all that's going on physically, doing everything, like, doing the calling and the doctor's appointments and stuff like that. it's just more like the mental aspect of it, the the loneliness. And I am not lonely. I feel alone sometimes because I have no one to call. Really, I have Jesse. I have Jesse and Bailey, and they have been amazing, and I have them. And and it's, I'm very protective of the people I love, and it's Jesse, Bailey, and my mom. Those are the three closest people to me, and my girlfriend Jill. We've been friends since grade school. Um, or anybody else that I feel is being wronged. But for me, even to have a community, to lose that channel and have like 43,000 followers or whatever, and then have to start over, and then still have all these people reach out to me to say that they'd love to call my mom and talk to my mom and help out, is such a privilege. It's such a, that I can do that. I know a lot of people who are caregivers, and I was in a group, and, it's a lonely road. And, I was telling the story about my one sister that, always showed up late. And I think I forgot to tell the story, which was the main thing. And it's not like I'm tattling on them, but I just want you to understand that. So last year, when my mom broke her hip on Thanksgiving, so just like a year ago, she had called me and or texted me and said, because I told her and my other sister that, mom broke her hip and she has to have surgery tomorrow. And so my one sister, the one who was always late, the one that I told you that story about, she was like, well, okay, I'm going to come there tomorrow. And I said, you don't have to come. Like, I didn't want her to come. And she's like, no, I want to be there for you. I know I won't be there when mom wakes up or anything. She goes, I just want to be there for you. And Jesse and Bailey were there too. It was me, Jesse, and Bailey while my mom was having surgery. So it was great to have them there. But so it was the night before. And so I said, okay, her, if you want to, her surgery is at 10:50. Okay. All right. Okay. Got it? Yep. Got it. So the next day, I bring my mom there, or she's there. She's at the hospital. And Jesse and Bailey show up. And so we go in, talk to her. They put her under anesthesia and stuff. And she goes into surgery, and we're sitting out there. No text from my sister, no phone call. She doesn't show up. And then at noon, I get a text from her. She says, okay, I'm on my way. I thought I'd stop and get lunch, wondering if you wanted anything. Like, the surgery's already over. I told you it was at 10:50. I mean, I don't know how long she thought surgery was going to be, but, if surgery starts at 10:50, usually starts at 10:50. And so I said, don't even bother coming. It's already over. And so that's what I'm talking about. And you are so lucky if you come from a family that you all like help each other and lift each other up and, want the best for each other. But then there's other families like mine. And listen, I'm talking from my own experience. Listen, I'm sure they have their own view of what they think the situations are. But that they don't want you to succeed. And they actually want to see you fail. I watched a TikTok yesterday and I was enthralled. It was a lady that said, there are some people that watch you or stay close to you just to see your downfall. They aren't there to lift you up, or, when good things happen, they aren't there to say congratulations or whatever. But when things go wrong or they don't even help to help lift you up, that they're there because they want to be a witness to your downfall. And I know, listen, I've been privileged my whole life. And this is, when I miss my dad would be so disappointed. My mom and I have talked about this. He would be so disappointed in them and how they've turned out. And here's the thing. They're not I don't consider them my family anymore. Like, I don't. And I always just tried to keep the peace. I never made any, but didn't want to rock the boat. When you're the youngest, you just try to stay out of the way. And it just always seems, and I've always been alone. I have never had a partner in this whole thing. They've always had, their significant others. And my oldest sister was retired, and so I'm doing all this, trying to work, trying to support myself, trying to do everything. And, it's like they just want to see me struggle and, not be, I don't even know what you say, just not be okay. And not even be like good, you know what I mean? But not even be okay. And I mean, and there's so much more behind all this. And I know that they don't even think about, I just feel like their whole point is to just make sure that, I feel like I make sure I'm punished for something that I never did. And I know there's other families out there like that. I have talked to so many families where they're the only ones taking care of things, just one person it's left to. And again, and don't feel sorry for my mom either. Like, we're in this together. And, my mom talked about this before. I think it was on the other channel. We may have talked about it on this channel. That she had a rough childhood. She was the only child. Her dad didn't want her. Her dad left when my grandma got pregnant. My grandma was married like 6 times. Grandma Violet was quite the character. And she hated my dad, even though my dad was the most loving man. She was just, and she would tell my mom, I wish I would have drowned you. And she wouldn't have enough money to pay the rent, and so they would have to sleep on a bench or something, or, so she had a rough childhood. And, her dad abandoned her, and so I think now when it comes to this, and she told me, and I know she won't mind me sharing this, because she loves you guys too. She thinks that this YouTube is the greatest thing because she knows that you guys are my support. And I know it's so weird that there's like a parasocial relationship. But you guys have been my cheering squad, the one that I don't have, and my mom's. Like, she loves reading the comments and, all the nice things you guys have to say. And, I know when you get older, you reflect on your life, and she feels like her mom abandoned her and didn't want her. And now when she's at the end of her life, that they've abandoned her. And I know they think that she's been mean, but she was just hurt. And I can see it. But I think sometimes with who you are, like if you're a narcissist or you're whatever, I'm hoping you don't know you're that. And so you're thinking you're this great person. My one sister thinks she's this super religious person. And to me, she's like the least nice person. But and me, talking about this even, who wants to like talk about, their family and stuff and in a negative way? But it's the truth. It's the exact truth. And you've watched me and my mom, and if you've been around, um, and we're just trying to get through this. And like I said, I'm okay. I don't have any debt. My dad taught me that. Didn't go through the whole family. There are a lot of them with a lot of debt. They'd have $1 in their pocket and they'd spend it. But I listened very carefully to my dad. And then I worked in bankruptcy. One of my first jobs in the legal field was bankruptcy. And I think after seeing that, I'm like, yeah, no, Dad's right. And so, that's how I've gotten through all this. And I carried myself through, and my bills are low. Do you know what I mean? Everything is minimalistic for me. And that's how I lived in the van. Very minimalistic. I lived basically, I had money saved specifically for the trips, but then what I made on YouTube carried me through. And I don't need a lot. I don't need a big house. I don't need a fancy car. Just need a car to get me from A to B, to drive me there. And so I just want you to know that I'm okay. I personally am never asking for anything. I just need help caring for my mom. And I know that there is that I have, when I was thinking about it, I'm like, but I have people who love my mom as much as I do, I think. And a lot of people don't have moms, and they're like, I wish she was my mom. I'd love to, go visit your mom if I live closer. And so that's where that stemmed from. And you guys have answered the call. And then it just makes me feel better, so I can focus on all the other stuff, because like I said, I don't have the wherewithal. And, when I call, it's like, what'd you do today? Same, nothing. But if somebody else talks to her, you can talk about like stories. And if you talk to her, ask her how, she and my dad met and how she feels like she manifested him. Every day she prayed. I pray that Al will love me, because my dad was very popular, and all the girls loved him. They called him Little Al. And out of the blue, he called her when he got back from the war, and he's like, hey, Joy, this is Al. She's like, no, it's not. I forget her girlfriend's name. What was it? Oh gosh, I can't remember, but she said her girlfriend's name. She goes, I know you're kidding. And then she hung up because she thought her girlfriend was playing a joke on her. My dad would never call her. And he called her back, and he's like, no, it's me. And she never had any like really like religion based growing up. Again, I told you what happened. And then she became Catholic, and they had 6 kids. That doesn't say Catholic. I don't know what does. We all went to a Catholic school our whole lives, and they were married for 59 years before my dad died. And like I said, the way they're treating my mom, and I know they think that she's treated, I don't know how that can be, and he worked his whole life to set my mom up to take care of her, and for them to treat her like that is beyond me. And so, I will never leave her. I will never not take care of her. It doesn't matter what I have to do. And so again, it's more about not the financial aspect of it. I got it. I can take care of it. I'm fine. It's just more about like the talking and the conversation, because I can see, when you don't talk to somebody and she's had this bad sciatica for so long, she was laying in bed for so long, now she can get up because she's on the gabapentin, and hopefully when I take her to get that shot, it'll give her a lot more relief. And Dale dying was a huge thing. Dale was, and she can't see, so Dale was her eyes. And he was always waiting outside the door for her to have coffee. They had they had a thing going, you know what I mean? Like they would go for a walk and they would have coffee, and it was a routine, and it was somebody to talk to. And I think that's what kills people, is feeling like you're alone. And the one thing, somebody asked me, a couple people said, Tracey, why don't you date? yeah, I was taking care of Jesse, and then I was on the road for 4 years, and now I'm taking care of my mom. I don't have the bandwidth to pour into anybody else. And listen, in my past relationships, I poured more than they poured. If the picture is this big, I poured this much, they maybe poured that much. And again, maybe I'm a bad picker or something. But, it's just how it was. And so I was better off by myself. I'd rather pour into the people that need it from me than to pour it into somebody that doesn't appreciate it. And I don't get the support in return. But I am so grateful for this YouTube channel, even though it's, only 2,000 followers, and I've surpassed 2,000. And I am so grateful that I have you guys, because you have been, like I said, with me. A lot of you have been with me from the beginning, from the minute I pulled out of the driveway in the van. And you've been there for my mom. You've seen my mom and, everything that's gone on. And so, but I just wanted to say, like, it's about community, like with stopping tonight and, helping that lady. And, in Minnesota, we are nice, most of us, And it is Minnesota nice, and it is, and I'm sure it happens everywhere. But that's what I'm looking for my YouTube channel. I'm not looking for money, although it is a way to support myself, but it's with AdSense. Do you know what I mean? I'm working to make that money. I don't need it to be given to me or anything. Do you know what I mean? Again, you don't have to worry about that. I just want to take care of my mom the best way I can. And if other people, like I said, if other people are missing their moms or they're lonely too, and they want to talk to somebody, why not everybody feel good about it? But yeah, I just want to say thank you, because you guys have come out swinging and have answered the call. And I truly appreciate you. And so I just wanted to say that. I just want to say, I'm not looking for money. That's not what this is about, really. That's not it. And not that anybody said that or anything, but I just, when you're talking from your heart, you're just talking. And I just don't want anybody to get that, that sense from me. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Because I wouldn't pick those people as my family. I wouldn't even pick them as my friends. But now I don't have to worry about them because they can't contact me. So that's good. And so, yeah. And I know my mom appreciates you too. And hopefully when she feels better, I'll do a video with her. But in the meantime, I'm going to go answer some emails to those that reached out. And and probably have a snow day tomorrow, which will be nice. And, have school off. Yay. I have a snow day. I remember, though, being a single mom, I was just telling Jesse that. I was talking to Jesse on the phone. So much happened today. Honestly, I love going to work. I love working with the kids. Every day is something different. And I'll tell you this because, kids are kids. And there's some kids with more behavioral problems than others, but and I was in charge of the lunchroom today because the other lady who's usually like in charge, we both work it, but, and there were blueberries served today. And he took the blueberries, and never would I have thought, he took the blueberries and he smashed them on the table. And Steve, the janitor, calls me over. He's like, Tracey. And I'm like, yeah. And I go, what? And all of a sudden I look down at the table. The F word spelled out on the table. And it's hard not to laugh sometimes. I'm like, well, that was imaginative. I never would have thought of that. So it's always something new. And while I'm doing that, my mind is so focused on all that stuff going on that it takes me out of this, and I'm just living in the moment. And it's actually fun. I love the kids, no matter how crazy they can be. I still love them. So, okay, I just want to say thank you. And I don't know. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.